Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. I want to go into this is massive, right? This is what everything comes down to within sales. This is what's at the core. This is the fundamental concept that you need to understand to move someone through that buying decision. When you understand this, it's about getting the code, what's going on behind the scenes for that person making the decision. And what's so important in sales is to know what process you're actually going through. Like, it's not your sales process, it's their decision-making process. And your sales process should help facilitate that. So in doing that, you need to know where you're going right and where you're going wrong. So when you get this fundamental concept, you have some sense of that. You'll also, once you get this, you get an idea of why you end up in some of these back and forth difficult conversations, and it's like they've forgotten all the stuff you talked about, the stuff that really matters, and they're nitpicking, going, well, what about this, back and, what about this, what about that, I want a cheaper price, and it wasn't this, and there was that, and you get in this almost, what's the word, conflictory, let's go with that, conflictory conversation with someone. I'm sure there's a better word for that, can't think of it now. It's going to annoy me. But yeah, that back and forth, I don't know about you, but I've had it in my head where I'm like, I don't want to be in an argument with my prospect. I'm not building any type of relationship here. It's when you don't get what's going on that kind of happens. Now, the thing is, and you may have heard this before, I just want to shed a little bit more light on it, is that, and I don't think people realize this, they think it's in some sales conversations it happens and others it doesn't. It's everyone. It's every conversation all the time, no matter what the product or service is. And that is that we buy on emotion, not features, not benefits, not price, not delivery times, not logic. We buy on emotion, not logic. That's why it's so important in how you turn up. Because they're buying you. It's that emotional feeling of trust that they have in you. And that's why you ask good questions to get them talking and them feeling the emotions they need to feel so they walk themselves through that decision-making process. And of course, you help them and facilitate it, but they go through themselves. So how does this show up? Or how do I see this not show up? Or some people forget this. What I see is that you might sit down and have a great first appointment with someone. And you go through your process and you're asking questions and it's all going well, and you find and cover what's most important to them, and they end up wanting to move ahead. Maybe you don't get the decision on the spot. Maybe that's not how things work for you. Then they call back and they're like, yeah, but hang on. You said you were going to do 8 of these, not 6. That price, like it's over 3 months. Can we do it over 1 month? And they start, they pick up the phone. They go, I just want to discuss a couple of things. And they go, boom, straight into this. They're going straight into logic. Now, what happens here is that most of us don't understand that we make decisions logically, especially us men that have egos, which men and women, we all have egos. But what happens is that we make an emotional decision. And a lot of the times we aren't aware of it. Like, a lot of men aren't aware of what emotions they're feeling at any given time. Or maybe that's just me. Forgive me. So making decisions emotionally, not fully in touch with that, not fully aware of that. And so then what we do is we go from our hearts to our head and we start looking at, okay, what's the price? What do I get for this? And it's almost like a mental spreadsheet, weighing this up against that and working out what the details are. And then we go, okay, for that fits, that I can justify this feeling I have here with this logic, therefore I'm going to move ahead. But really, the person makes me feel enough, I'm going to move ahead, right? But the ego makes us back it up with all the logical stuff. So then we walk away and we tell our friends, oh, well, yeah, the logical stuff. The price was right. They gave me 10 where someone else gave me 8. It went for longer or it went from shorter, whatever's best, and all these features. And then they do that little spreadsheet thing with them. So therefore, I can justify my decision because look at all these smart and intelligent, logical reasons why I went with this person or this business. When really what it comes down to is they made me feel good. They made me feel like I could trust them. They made me feel like I could get the experience that I want from their features and benefits. I don't want the features and benefits. I want however it's going to make me feel, right? It's all about the feels, you know, like there's a great quote. I always butcher this, but people will never remember what you told them or something, but they're always going to remember how you made them feel. And that is so important. And that's how people move through the buying decision. So when that client calls you up or the prospect calls you up and wants to argue about things, you need to step them back through and get them emotionally involved and say, okay, yeah, but we talked about these things. You did want to have that in there and spark up some of those emotions. Be aware of when they bring emotions into the conversation. Spend time there. Understand that when they go through that emotional journey, when you come back for the second appointment, you know, to further go through the process, you need to reignite that emotion. You need to be respectful of their emotions and know that that's what they need to go through. So yeah, I can't stress this enough. You may have heard it before, but be more aware of it. Start looking out for it so that then you can be respectful of it and facilitate it. Like, you can't push someone through their emotions, but the more you're aware of it, then the more you can foster it and help them along, and then they end up buying with you if that's the right decision for you and for them. So I hope you got value out of that. Take care. Speak to you soon. See ya.